Hi everyone, thank you for having me here today. My name is Emilie Joly. I am the CEO and co-founder of apelab. Our mission is to democratize the use of immersive technologies in schools. We empower students to become digital creators without the need of a software engineering degree. Today, I'm going to be showing you live how we enable educators and students to connect and share their own interactive stories and games using our platform called Zeli. The sudden and necessary remote learning situation we've all been forced into has shown how difficult it is to keep anyone engaged, especially through video calls, let alone kids who much prefer to escape into Minecraft or go outside to play with their friends. Kids, teenagers, and also adults are really not made to stay put on a chair watching people speak on screens for hours. So, what we've been focusing on is how we can enable creativity through project based learning within a virtual environment. And I want to give you a first look of what that looks like. Educators can create a session online and add the students or group members who will be working on the project. These sessions are private and require everyone in the group to input the unique project code. Now it's time to head into virtual reality. Zoe works on the Oculus Quest, which is a standalone headset, but for the purpose of this demo, I am using my Oculus Rift S. All right, so now we are inside Zoe, and as soon as anyone inputs the project code, they will join us into the session. So here you can see my colleague and my friend, and then you can have other people join in. You can speak to each other via voice. You can wave at each other. You can start brainstorming ideas. You can move in 3D. You can grab objects, discuss, talk. It's really cool. So as you can see, there's already a bunch of models that are there. It's very easy to add new ones to this room. So if we go into assets here, you have a whole library of models that are already there. The students can choose which one they want depending on the project they're working on. The teacher can also decide which one are the most relevant depending on the topic. You can also access online libraries here. These online libraries are connected to apps like Tiltbrush or Google Blocks, for example. So this is really neat because you can have a lesson around 3D modeling and then have the students actually create their own models themselves and then import them into Zoe to create their game and their experience. So let's say we want to add a bear into our scene. So we'll just click on the bear, import him here, and then now we can just scale it and let's put it near that tree over there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go take a look at that plate of sushi here. So if you press play, which is when you want to play your game, and you take a look at the objects here, you can see that you cannot grab them, you can't do anything with them, and they don't react to physics at all. So the first thing you learn is how to actually add physics to your models and how to make them collide with each other. So it's very simple. You have a menu here and you can select any object you want, and then you can start adding different behaviors to them. So the first one is adding gravity. Yes, we want to be able to grab that sushi, and it needs to collide with the rest of the assets. So that's a good start. Let's press play and see what happens. That sushi now can be grabbed and can be moved around, but you can see the plate, for example, doesn't have physics yet. So what we're going to do next is add physics to that plate. So let's select the plate. And then here we don't need it to have gravity. We don't necessarily want to be able to grab it, let's say, but we want it to have colliders. So let's do this. And now you will see the sushi actually collides properly with the plate and doesn't go through it. Another very cool thing is how physics works. So once an object is properly set up, it can easily interact with the others in a very natural and, like in the real world. So that's kind of the basics of adding physics and having objects collide in 3D. Now we're going to take a quick look at the flower over there. If I grab this can, you will see that the flower grows. So how do we make those interactions? That's the whole power of Zoe here, is we have a whole interaction system. If you go in the interaction menu, you will find my interaction here called flower grow. And the way it works is there's a condition and there's an action. So the condition for the flower to grow is that the water can here collides with the sunflower. And the action is for the sunflower to scale up times 5. So now what we're going to do, just to show you how you can change things around, so we'll say that the flower grows really, really big. Let's press play and see if it worked. So now, if I pour the water on the flower, woo, it grows. This is how our interaction system works. And here you have different types of conditions, different types of actions, and we're building more every day. So now we are going to take a look at our solar system here. As you can see, it is not finished. The proportions aren't completely right, and the order of the planets either. So, it can be part of the exercise for the students to build a fully functional solar system with the correct distances, or at least proportions. And then what we're going to do now is get the Earth to orbit around the sun. The way to do this is you add a new interaction. We're going to rename that interaction Earth orbit. That's it. And now we are going to make the Earth rotate around. So we're going to use the action turn around. The object is going to be the Earth. The target object is going to be the sun. And we want the Earth to rotate around the sun in the y-axis. So, you also learned a little bit about math and geometry. So we want the Earth to turn around counterclockwise and 360 degrees, and we want it to take about, let's say, 15 seconds to do the tour, and you put it in the loop. And now you will see that the Earth starts actually rotating around the sun. All right, and now let's say that we want to add a little bit more narrative to it, or a little bit more information. So we have a very cool new functionality here where students are able to record their own voices to narrate their experience. So if you press on the microphone, there you can start recording a little narrative. So let's say something about the Earth. The Earth orbits around the sun at a speed of 67,000 miles per hour. The recording is now saved, and if we go back into our rotating interaction, we can say, for example, that when I touch the Earth with either hands, my action is going to activate that audio I just created. So we press on the Earth, select the Earth as the target object. We want the audio to play. We want the latest audio clip to be launched. And we want the volume to be up. And now when we press play, the Earth will start orbiting when we touch it, and then the audio will be launched. The Earth orbits around the sun at a speed of 67,000 miles per hour. And this is how you start creating narratives. So think about all the possibilities there. All right, I hope you enjoyed hearing more about Zoe and how we can connect together inside virtual reality to be creative, to learn, to tell stories, and to build games. I'm going to take off the headset now. We currently, if you are interested, you can go on our website, zoe.com. You can register for free if you're a teacher, start building things and testing it with your students. And we also have a professional learning program for educators who are getting started with all of this. Please feel free to reach out to me directly as well if you are interested about figuring out what to do with your students next year. Thank you, Games for Change, for inviting me here to do this presentation. And please, all of you, take care. Thank you.